It's 9 a.m. and time to talk high school sports. It's time for the OK Preps Roundup. The most comprehensive high school sports show heard all year round.
Let's see what you got.
OK Preps Roundup is on the air. Now, here are your hosts, Ben Johnson and Michael Knight.
Well, welcome into another edition of the OK Preps Roundup here on your home for sports and sports animal, as well as streaming all over the world on the OK Preps Network. I'm Michael Knight, live in the Sports Animal Studio alongside Ben Johnson. As always, we do it every single Saturday morning from 9 to 11. Ben, how are you on this cool Saturday morning?
Cool.
It's cool.
I'm cool.
You're cool.
Feeling
cool?
good. Yeah. I mean, it's after all that severe weather we had yesterday, man. I'm glad we survived.
Yeah,
It was pretty rough. All the wind and no rain.
the wind and no rain and no tornadoes,
Right.
no much of anything.
But hey, after last week, got to play baseball.
Yes, exactly. A lot of baseball being played this week. We'll dive into some of the top baseball results later on in this segment. We start off each and every single show with the top three stories. It was a busy week. It was a full week throughout all of the sports, not only the spring sports that are going on. Basketball has a top story. Football has a top story. So it was a very busy week in high school sports this week.
Yep, no doubt. Like you said, kind of ran the whole gauntlet of we got some football, some basketball, and of course spring sports are in full gear right now, and we're nearing the point of postseason play. I mean, I know some golf has already gotten there. The
baseball opened up districts this week in some of the smaller classes as well.
Yeah, so we're zeroing in on the end of this year's high school sports season.
Want to dive into the top three stories?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll start at Bishop Kelly. We start on Thursday as Bishop Kelly winning a thriller with Bixby. We talked about this back-to-back last week on the show, how Bixby has been playing some really good baseball as of late. And this was a huge district matchup. If Bishop Kelly had any hopes of hosting a regional, they had to win at least one of these games against Bixby.
Yep.
And they got it on Thursday in just dramatic fashion. Daniel DeSimone hitting a 3-run walk-off home run to win it 8-7. And we had it live on the OK Preps Network.
DeSimone getting a
High
big
fly
rip
ball.
of
This
that
one might
high
be
center
gone.
field. That is gone, and your Comets get a 3-run walk-off home run by DeSimone.
What a play. Who would have thought? Comets trail the whole game, and Daniel DeSimone hits one out of the park to win the game.
Great job by Bishop Kelly.
What a win by the Comets.
Yeah, cut that off. It was a win for the Comets. A great win. Our thanks to our wonderful network school, BishopKelly.tv, for providing the game-winning home run. Great hit by Daniel DeSimone. 3-run walk-off to win it 8-7. Doesn't get much better than that. It wasn't as dramatic yesterday. The Comets took care of business on the road at Bixby. They beat them 9-1. So a huge back-to-back sweep for the Comets and a big-time walk-off home run for the Comets on Thursday.
Yeah, the people you probably didn't hear cheering there were, like, if Union was in attendance, they probably weren't too fired up.
Not too happy about it.
So pretty much Union is hitting the road for some playoff baseball.
Yeah, I don't know their schedule off the top of my head, but they don't have very many district games, if any, next week. Is that
Union?
Yeah.
They have 0.
Yeah, exactly. So they can't really –
Westmore, Catoosa, Wasso, Pryor, Edmond North.
Yeah, which some tough games there.
Right.
But none of them will help or hurt them. And more importantly, none of them are going to help them as far as the district race is concerned. We mentioned football news in the top stories this week. Yesterday, it was announced by the local paper in McAllister that James Singleton, the Fort Gibson head coach, is the new McAllister head coach. A very good hire, in my opinion.
No doubt.
All he did in his 4 seasons at Fort Gibson, go 33-14. He helped lead them to the Class 4A semifinals this year, started 12-0. They lost a heartbreaker to Oologah and fell 1 game short of the state championship game. They won 10 games twice in those 4 seasons, led them to the playoffs each and every single year. Their record in the 4 seasons before Singleton took over was dreadful. Don't have it off the top of my head, but he did go 33-14 in the last, so he completely turned around the program. Macalester doesn't need turned around. They just need to keep on chugging along after what Brian Pratt has been able to do, leading them to four straight 5A semifinals. So Singleton will try to continue that as he takes over there.
Kind of a surprising move. I always kind of thought that Singleton would kind of be in that Muskogee, Fort Gibson area for a while. But, yeah, he went in, and it's easy to say his best job was this last year. But when his son, the quarterback, goes down with an ACL injury early in the season, he just plugs in a piece at quarterback. Jordan London, was that?
Yep.
Plugged in Jordan London.
Then Singleton came back.
Late in the season. You know, as a coach, that's not easy to just plug someone into the quarterback spot and keep going, and he did that. And so big credit to him for doing that and getting all the way to the semifinals.
He did have the help of a breakout season from sophomore Chris Walker.
Right.
Walker is
of course,
a kid.
when you're handing it off to the kid.
Little easy.
Right.
Walker is a guy that we definitely want to keep track of over the next couple of years because he's one of the best running backs in that 2017 class.
Well, he made 200-yard rushing games look like nothing last year.
It was easy. It was cake.
Yep.
It was most of the time he had it by halftime.
And it's not like Fort Gibson's in a horrible district.
No. It's in a tough defensive-minded district.
Right.
You're going up against Poto. You're going up against
Metro.
Exactly. Salisaw, throw them in the mix as well. So Singleton, the new head coach at Macalester, we're going to talk with him in our next segment. And then finally, the Curran Scott recruitment has heated up a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting development last night. For those of you who do not follow us on Twitter, you definitely should. OK Preps TV, little shameless plug right there. But we were going to have Curran Scott on at 9:45 this morning. We still are, but he was going to come on to announce his college decision. He had narrowed it down to Fresno State and TU. Late last night, Curran texted me and said he is not ready to make a decision at this time because of new opportunities. That is a direct quote from him. I asked about those new opportunities. He did not want to disclose those. He's still going to come on. He's going to talk about his recruitment. I'm going to ask the question. Before late last night, did you know where you were going to go until this new opportunity come up? You don't have to talk about the new opportunity, but were you sold on Fresno State? Were you sold on Tulsa? But Curran Scott will come on at the end of this hour. But it's interesting how the world of recruiting, that last second offer, you think you know where you're going, and then all of a sudden you hear from a school that you never thought you were going to hear from, and it completely changes some things.
Yeah, like you said, that's the world of recruiting. Until the pen is hitting the paper, it's not even a done deal. And even then, it's not a done deal because then you got to fax it or all that. So you could theoretically sign it, put it in the shredder, and you open up recruiting all over again.
That's exactly right.
At that point, you're wasting everyone's time, but hey.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes. I don't think Curran's wasting everybody's time. He was very apologetic, by the way. I tip my hat to him. Very respectful kid. I was very apologetic. I was like, look, man. It's like, you're still going to come on the show. We're still going to talk some basketball, talk about your season, talk about your recruitment so far. And we have an open door, man.
Right.
We have an open invitation. You want to come on and announce it later on? Feel free.
No doubt.
It's your decision.
We'll be here all summer.
Exactly. Because we are the only high school show every single week, all year round.
Another plug.
Hey.
All about plugs this morning.
Best show in the state, man.
There you go.
Best show in the state. Also, not in the top 3 stories, but of note this week, I had the first doctor's appointment.
Yep.
And very happy to publicly announce, although I've put it on Twitter, so for those of you, once again, following, you already know, but for those who are loyal listeners and have been listening for a long time now, I'm going to be a father for the first time.
Congratulations. Just wait until you find out if it's a boy or girl. That's the next step.
I know, and that's coming probably around June. Had our first doctor's appointment. Baby's looking good. Was dancing in the ultrasound.
There you go.
And that moment where it hits you was hearing that little baby's heartbeat, and it got me. It got me a little bit, but definitely happy that everything looks good. Everything's going well, and very excited about what the future holds for myself and my lovely girlfriend Autumn as we are now awaiting a baby.
Well,
due Thanksgiving, by the way. got a little turkey cooking.
There you go. Nice.
Do
well
on
well
Thanksgiving.
played. Well played.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. And thank you to everybody reaching out on social media as well as shooting me text messages after we announced it on Thursday. All right, baseball. That's what the people are here for. It's some solid baseball results, and we had it in Class 6A this week, especially with Broken Arrow.
No doubt.
They had one heck of a week, and we start on Tuesday. They ended Jinx's 10-game win streak 3-1, and then they win the Battle of the Bats because we have to name every rivalry now. Broken Arrow wins the Battle of the Bats against Owasso 5-2. Look, I poke fun, but that is one of the better baseball rivalries in the last several years.
And now that I think about it, all these rivalries, they all start with B's. Backyard Bowl.
Backyard Bowl.
Battle of the
Bats.
Let's mix it up a little bit.
That it's just like me. We're streaming all over the world, including in
You got the
W towns.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. Broken Arrow with a big week, 2 wins against Jinx and Owasso. Neither of them count towards district seedings, but at this point, the momentum is what's very important for Broken Arrow. Edmond Santa Fe knocking off Stillwater on Thursday. That's a game that we might see in the playoffs in the state tournament. They won in impressive fashion in the Edmond Classic 9-2. Westmore and Yukon each got big district sweeps, with Westmore beating Midwest City 2-1 and 6-2, and then Yukon beating Choctaw 8-5 and 12-8. Westmore is at Union today, so if you want to get a look at the Jaguars in Northeast Oklahoma, you can head out to Union this afternoon. Yukon has a huge district back-to-back next week with Edmond Santa Fe. That will more than likely decide the district crown.
Yeah, good stuff in 6A this week. I was out there for the BA Jinx game. Scary moment whenever Burke takes a errant pickoff throw from Harrison Whitworth.
Right.
Got hit and went down, and you could almost see Broken Arrow's season teetering in the balance, but then he got hit in his non-pitching arm. Shannon Dobson said he was good to go. Even kind of was talking about how he got hit in the fat part of the arm. So, but yeah, nice.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, nice week for Broken Arrow, no doubt. I mean, you like to rack up district victories at this point of the year, but to be able to have some momentum going in against a team like Jinx and Owasso come playoff time, you got to feel good about that too.
Class 5A, it was a pretty slow week this week. The only game of real note, we had Carl Albert Deer Creek last night, but it got rained out, so we look at Shawnee.
Okay, so it did rain.
It did rain
Okay.
in some parts of the state.
Okay.
It did rain as Carl Albert Deer Creek was not able to play. Shawnee shut out Christian Heritage. Christian Heritage, one of the top teams in 2A, so a pretty good win for Shawnee. It's another resume builder, but doesn't do much as far as the playoffs are concerned. The Wolves getting a shutout last night, 8-0. You drop down to 4A. I mentioned last week how it was pretty boring as far as top results. Not so much this week. Weatherford was busy. They beat Lokiba Sickles and Heritage Hall. Lokiba Sickles, one of the top teams in Class B. Heritage Hall, one of the top teams in Class 3A. Weatherford winning 10-2 and 6-2 respectively. Holdenville upset Bing 8-2 on Tuesday. Elgin beat Hera in a battle of 4A top 10 teams 3-1 on Tuesday. Tuttle knocked off Blanchard 2-1 on Monday, and Sallisaw beat Vian. Defense was extremely optional, 15-10 on Thursday as Sallisaw beat Vian in tournament play. But you talk about the top stories in 4A. I think Weatherford headlines it with their big wins over Lokiba Sickles and Heritage Hall.
Yeah, at this point it looks like Weatherford is kind of separating itself from the rest of the 4A crowd, but that could all change in the matter of a game or two or a week, because you're never going to cat out Blanchard, Berry Hill, heck, even Tuttle with that win this week. Their 4A is deep. We've been saying that all year, so playoff should be no different.
Class 3A, it was Verdigris facing off with Berry Hill in a 4A, 3A showdown, and it was a no contest as Verdigris won 12-1. Heritage Hall took care of Bethany 10-2 on Friday, so they bounced back from that loss against Weatherford, faced another 4A top 10 team, and took care of business this time 10-2. Jones shut out Christian Heritage as Christian Heritage struggling this week to get some runs. They were shut out against Shawnee, shut out against Jones 6-0. Fort Gibson upset Sperry 4-1 on Thursday. In Class 2A, it was Silo winning their 20th and 21st straight game over Hartshorn and Tushka. 2 good wins for them. Dale beat Chandler 9-8 on Tuesday in Class A. Rolfe stayed undefeated with a 9-1 victory over Latta. Navajo lost their first game of the season Monday 12-11 against Mangum. And in Class B, it was Leedy beating Binger Oni 2-0 on Monday. Fort Cobb Broxton, Lokiba Sickles, and Red Oak, they all had games against teams in some of the upper classes. Red Oak facing off with McAllister. Lokiba Sickles facing Weatherford. We talked about that. And all of them fall short of possible upsets. So those are three of the top teams in Class B going up against some of the better teams in the state and falling a little bit short, while Leedy got another big win over Binger Oni.
You know, I don't really know who runs the athletic department at Red Oak, but I always love the way they schedule. Because no matter what sport it is, they're playing up and they're challenging their team. You know, they don't just go out and schedule a bunch of Class B teams, try and rack up wins. I mean, they're 18-7, but I guarantee you if we look at their schedule, those 7 losses will probably come against 3A, 4A, 5A schools.
Yep. All right, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we'll switch gears and talk a little high school football with the newest head coach at McAllister, James Singleton. Ben, you think it's a surprising hire? I think it's a pretty good hire, especially after.
Well, I think it's a good hire. I was just kind of caught me off guard.
Surprise!
Caught me off guard.
Yeah, no, definitely not saying you thought it was a poor hire,
right?
But I thought, after Singleton didn't jump or go after the Muskogee job last year, very hard at it. I thought there's a chance he might leave for something bigger and better. Not saying McAllister's better, but at the same time, the loss of his son J.R. Singleton to graduation probably had an impact on his decision to leave now. We'll see. We'll ask the coach. We'll also talk with Westmore baseball coach Jarrett Freeman coming up in the next segment. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. This is the OK Preps Roundup, not only on your home for sports, the sports animal, but streaming all over the world, including at Westmore High School, the OK Preps Network.
Get in the swing of golf.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole! It's in the hole!
Every Saturday with the Swing Fit Golf Oklahoma Hour. Tracy Phillips, Director of Instruction at Cedar Ridge Country Club. Dave Sidler, Oklahoma Journalism Hall of Fame member. And Ken McLeod, publisher Golf Oklahoma magazine, will help navigate the local, state, and national golf scene every Saturday morning at 8. Brought to you by Swing Fit Golf. Get fit to play.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
You've heard other dealers offering free oil changes for life, and you thought to yourself, there has to be a catch. Well, usually there is, except at Hodge Ford. Hey, this is Jack Hodge, and we're now offering free oil changes for life for anyone who buys a new or used vehicle. And that's not all. If you ever bought from Hodge, you get free oil changes for life. You heard right.
Jack, so you're saying if you buy any car or own any car from Hodge, you can get your oil change for free as long as you own your car? Are you a little crazy?
Maybe just a little. And hey, it doesn't matter if you bought a diesel or your car takes synthetic oil. We'll honor free oil changes for life up to 4 times a year or every 5,000 miles. Get a free oil change as long as you own your Hodge Ford. That's the Hodge promise.
You heard it from the owner himself. Free oil changes for life at Hodge Ford. Experience the Hodge Ford difference. Come by or call today or go to HodgeFord.com. Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main in Muskogee.
Yeah, little Purple Haze, little Jimi Hendrix. I put this in there for a reason. Happy birthday to my brother Ryan. It's his older birthday. I'm not going to throw out his age because it's way too up there. Way too up there. So old. But happy birthday, Ryan. I love you. Can't wait to celebrate your birthday later on today. But favorite artist was Jimi Hendrix, so had to throw a little Jimi Hendrix in the music rotation
There you
for
go.
today's show.
Nicely done.
Yeah, hey, got to do what you got to do. Talking a little high school football now as we switch gears and talk with the newest head coach at Macalester, James Singleton. We've had him on this program a couple of times in the past as the head coach of Fort Gibson. He joins us now as the newest head coach at Macalester. Coach, first off, thanks for taking some time this morning to join us on the program. And, we'll start the conversation here. What led to the decision to leave Fort Gibson now and take over this Macalester program?
Michael, how you guys doing today? Doing really well. It was just it was an opportunity to look at. When I look at it, of course, there's a lot of variables involved when a coach moves. Of course, obviously, a fit is always a big deal. I'm gonna have some opportunities there that I didn't have at Fort Gibson. So it was a very, very exciting opportunity, and Coach Homer offered me the job. Obviously, I had to dwell on it for quite a while. Fort Gibson was a great place for me. The administration did a wonderful job for me, really took care of me, and really invested into our football program. But I went ahead and decided to go to Macalester. Macalester is a very tradition-rich football town. Mm-hmm. Coach Pratt had done a wonderful job there the last 9 years. They've always been blessed with just tough kids, skilled kids. And then, and another thing, it was closer for me as far as being closer to home to my family. The majority of my family, they live in southeastern Oklahoma, and they like to drive up and support us and watch their grandbabies and their endeavors, so it puts them a little closer to the action. So to me, it felt like a great fit and a good time. I know it was late, but Brian had the opportunity to go to Bentonville, and this arose. It was just like a great fit for me, and I'm going to take advantage of it.
Hey, James, Ben Johnson. I haven't talked to you in a little bit more than a day, so how are you?
Hey, Ben, how are you?
Good. One thing I didn't ask you yesterday, sitting down, how tough was that conversation with Gary Hendricks to let him know that you were leaving Fort Gibson? Because after being in Tahlequah for several years and getting to know you and everything, I know you're part of the community there in Fort Gibson. How tough was that for you to have to leave and tell Gary you were leaving?
It was really tough. When I came in there, our administration, they let me know that they were investing in our football program, new facilities, and it was a tough decision for me. They gave me my first head football coaching opportunity, and it was tough. The toughest thing yesterday was actually having to talk to those kiddos. It was
right.
Probably the most miserable 15 minutes I've had since I've been on this planet. I was very invested in those kiddos, and myself and my wife, we look at them as our children, as well as the three boys that we raise all the time. But I know they'll continue to have great success there. We feel like that program is one of the better programs at 4A now. The facilities are great. They've got talented kids coming. From what I understand, everybody on staff is planning on staying, which means you're going to have a great staff when you walk in. So it's a good situation. If it would have been a bad situation, I wouldn't have left. But I feel like it's going to be in stable hands. Whoever takes it over, and it'll continue to grow and probably get better than what it is right now.
This is the OK Preps Roundup. We're talking with new Macalester football head coach James Singleton. Coach, your son JR spent 4 seasons starting for you as the Fort Gibson quarterback. He graduates next month. Did that make this decision a little bit easier, him graduating, or let's say the Macalester job opened up last year, would that make the decision a little bit more difficult with him still having 1 year left?
Oh, without a doubt. There were some. I'd received some inquiries last year, and I adamantly turned those down immediately because it was a senior year. You don't want to do that to your child. My 2 other boys, and my middle one, Bryce, he'll be a sophomore next year, and my youngest one he'll be an 8th grader. So with those guys being younger, they can still go there and still grow up being Buffaloes during their high school career. So, but definitely, if JR would have been an underclassman going into a senior year, I wouldn't have pursued it at all.
Now, you're going to take over this Macalester program, and they're no stranger to success, and it's a little different than what you took over at Fort Gibson 4 years ago. So let me ask you this. the difference in taking over at Fort Gibson and taking over now at McAllister, where the expectations are extremely high after they made it to the semifinals 4 straight years now, including a state championship appearance back in 2013?
Well, it's obviously it's not a rebuild. When we went to Fort Gibson, it was it needed a lot of work to get to where it is today. Walking into McAllister and knowing Coach Pratt and his pedigree. I haven't even stepped on campus yet per se and watched them in action, but I'm sure they're doing everything right. All great coaches, and I definitely am not putting myself in a great category yet, but all good coaches, they all have the same blueprint for being successful. Offensively, they've been doing things a certain way there for a long time. Have had great success. One thing I'm not going to do, and I told the administration, there's probably not a need to come in and reinvent the wheel at McAllister.
Right.
It's to keep the wheel that's there going. Now, will there be some sprinkles or some things that we might change as far as identity-wise? Maybe a little bit, but to the typical coaching. The typical coach up in the stands, they're not going to see a big difference as far as what's been going on and what will be happening now. Of course, I've got to get down there and visit with those coaches and talk to them philosophically about as far as what things are going on down there. I'm guessing that there's not going to be a need to change because I know they're doing things right, obviously because they're having great success.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the move. Always enjoy talking to you. Always enjoy talking to you at Fort Gibson. Now we'll make the move over to McAllister and enjoy looking forward to bringing you on more as the newest head coach of the McAllister Buffaloes.
All right, Michael, I appreciate you guys having me on today.
Thanks, James.
That's James Singleton, the newest head coach at McAllister. Congratulations to him and the entire Singleton family. Great hire by McAllister, which now opens up Fort Gibson, which, he talked about it. And, look, he's going to say, it's a good job. It's a program that's going to be in good hands. But at the same time, it is. It really is. Whoever gets that job, they're walking into some talent, especially you talk about the sophomore running back, going to be a junior. Chris Walker had just an absolute star season this past fall. So whoever takes over there is definitely going to have his hands full as far as expectations as well. A little different than what Singleton walked into about 4 years ago, and that speaks to what he did in his tenure at Fort Gibson. We switch gears now and talk a little high school baseball with one of the top teams over on the west side. Joining us now is Westmore Baseball's head coach, Jared Freeman. Coach, first off, thanks for taking some time this morning to talk a little Westmore baseball with us. I know you're going to be coming over here later on today to face Union.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. And we're definitely excited about coming east, that's for sure. I always like coming over there and seeing those guys prior to the state tournament for sure. Try to see BA or Jinx or Union, whoever it is. We always like to come over that way for sure.
Now, let me ask you this, Coach, because we finish this show each and every single week with our Your Take poll. And this week it was regarding some of the best players baseball-wise in the state of Oklahoma. Kyle Tyler, is part of that list. And right now he's leading the voting. There's been over 1,000 votes right now on okpreps.tv/Your Take. On the poll, your player's leading it. How special is he?
Oh, man, he's definitely a special guy to have on the mound. He's one of those guys that, when he takes the mound, your team has all the confidence in the world that, hey, we're going to go win the game. And, he just has that shutdown ability, and then he's special in the fact that if he gets into jams, like we talked about starting pitchers, starting pitchers have to be able to work out of jams, or work out of a jam in the game. And man, he has that ability, and he gets zoned in, and he attacks his zone and tries to make those guys hit it. And, that's why I think he gets so many strikeouts is because he goes at the zone. He attacks his zone, and, the hitters don't have time to think about it. So he's definitely a special guy. We love to have him, that's for sure.
Hey, Coach Ben Johnson, thanks for joining us this morning. We talk a lot about on this show about the importance of district games, and you guys have 2 more left, but pretty much have the district sewn up. How do you approach your pitching at this point? Do you try and rest guys a little bit before the playoffs? Do you try and stick to the same routine every week, like a certain guy is a Monday guy, the next guy's a Tuesday guy?
We always approach our season. We always start where basically we call it No Throw November, man. We shut guys down in November and come back December 1st, and we start building arms. Start off say 20-pitch pins or something like that in December. Start building guys up as we get closer to scrimmages, everything like that. I'd say their first starts of the season, our pitchers are about 75 pitches. And then, that first week it's about 75. That second week, usually 85, 90, somewhere right in there. And then, like, by the time we get to spring break, where we go out to Arizona or we went to Florida, somewhere like that, where it's a little bit warmer, now we can kind of go off of feel, how those guys' pitch counts feel. And basically just trying to get them stronger as the season goes. So for us, the rest, we're not worried about resting guys, I feel like the guys that if we tried to rest a guy, I feel like he's going to come back and he's not going to be as sharp as maybe he is when we are grinding it out, in the middle of the season. And so for us, we've just been working to build our guys' strength and endurance and making sure they can finish games. And, and that all goes off of field, too, off of, how he looks. Is he leaving the ball up in the zone? Is he, there's a lot of different things we kind of look at. But if he's strong, velocity's there, he feels good, and he's attacking hitters, hey, we're going to go with him. So, and that's what, with these district games at Monday, Tuesday, we'll go at it with our best guys and then basically maybe pin those guys late in the week, get ready for regionals the next week.
We're talking Westmore baseball with their head coach, Jared Freeman, here on the OK Preps Roundup. Coach, we talk a little bit about your game with Union today. Going into the playoffs, do you guys feel like one of the favorites in Class 6A, even though primarily it's been won by East Side schools, although Stillwater did it last year as well as Edmond North a couple years ago? Do you guys feel like with the personnel you have this season, with all the talent you guys have, do you guys feel like you're the favorite in 6A?
Every day we take the field, we felt like we got the target on our back, that's for sure. Just because of the season we had last year. The guys we got returning, and we've got some real talented guys. And that's what that's what going to the semifinals does for you. One, but then now everybody we face, we've seen everybody's won, and that's one thing that's been good for us, as we've gotten better as the year's gone. But yeah, we definitely feel that way. We feel like there's a target on our back, but it also motivates us. It drives us, and makes us better as the season goes. And there's going to be 8 quality teams at the end of the season for the state tournament. And, it's just going to be who gets hot, who's playing well, and who's going to, get a break here or there to win it. So,
Coach, we'll get you out of here on this. How wide open does 6A feel, as opposed to maybe just going back to last year? You had Bishop Kelly make a Cinderella-type run. Now they seem like one of the strong teams over here on the east side this season. How wide open is 6A this season as opposed to last?
Well, I think there's just so much parity. There's so many teams that could beat us or beat Bishop Kelly, or it's just there's I would say 13, 14 deep in 6A that could all make that Cinderella run or make that run that they really want to, especially once they get to the state tournament. If we get through regionals, that's the test, is get through those regionals. And, whenever we get to that state tournament, single elimination, hey, it's wide open, boys. So, let's go at it. Go with R1 and see how he goes. And if he's not gone, then let's go to the 2 and so on and so forth. But it's all hands on deck when you get to the state tournament.
Well, your 1 is pretty good, and that's why he's leading the Your Take poll right now, available on okpreps.tv/Your Take. Coach, Enjoyed talking with you this morning. Good luck this afternoon as you travel to the east side to face the Union Redskins, and looking forward to seeing how you guys do once the playoffs get here.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me on.
That's Westmore baseball head coach Jared Freeman joining the program. Before we hit a break, I definitely want to take some time to tell you about the OK Preps app. You can download it today. Go inside your favorite team with up-to-date stats, articles, pictures, and videos. If you can't make it out to the game, you'll be able to get live notifications on your smartphone from your favorite team. It's available for download right now in the Google Play Store and the App Store today. So if you haven't downloaded it already, do it. Do it.
Right now.
Right now, because it's available. Either one. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. We'll be right back with another segment. We're going to be talking basketball this time with Edmond Memorial guard Curran Scott. We're flipping it around a little bit. About 24 hours ago, he was announcing his decision this morning. Now it's just talking about his recruitment. A new development came up, new opportunity came up. Not ready to make a decision just yet, but we will talk with him not only about his recruitment, but the season he had. Scored more points than anybody has ever scored at Edmond Memorial, and there's been some pretty good ballers there at Edmond Memorial just in the last 5 years.
Yep.
Curran Scott scored more points in a single season than all of them. We'll be right back with Curran on the other side of this time out. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. The OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports, the Sports Animal, and on the OK Preps Network. This is Michael Knight, the host of the OK Preps Roundup, heard every single Saturday morning from 9 to 11. Join Ben Johnson and myself as we dive into the world of high school sports. You can catch video replays online at okpreps.tv/roundup. It's the OK Preps Roundup every single Saturday morning on the OK Preps Network.
OK Preps Roundup, still the only 100% high school sports show in Oklahoma and heard exclusively on your home for sports.
You make it sound so easy. Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
Start the success, that's Midwest. Midwest Sporting Goods. Put some Midwest best on you. Midwest Sporting Goods.
For years now, Midwest Sporting Goods has had two terrific locations to serve all your local sporting goods needs at 121st and Memorial, and now at the brand new 51st and Memorial location in the northeast corner of the Fontana Shopping Center. With everything the football, basketball, baseball, and softball player needs in apparel from head to toe, and all the equipment a player needs as well, and all the latest styles with name brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Nike, Rawlings, and with employees who know how to properly fit you or your child in the gear they need. Midwest Sporting Goods can also handle all your team needs when it comes to uniforms, trophies, logoed items, and screen printing, all under one roof. Save time and money. Send your team to Midwest Sporting Goods. Midwest Sporting Goods, open Monday through Saturday, your team sports headquarters.
Put some Midwest best on you.
Sometimes you just need to slow down a little. Take your time. Relax. That's not what you get when you shop for a vehicle in the big city.
Give me your keys. Look here. Sit there. Sign this.
Not at Harlan Ford. For over 62 years, they've been making deals in a relaxed environment with a handshake in historic downtown Okmulgee. At Harlan Ford, it's not the small-town way for you to buy a vehicle. It's the Harlan way. Harlan Ford, just a short, easy drive down Highway 75 from Tulsa on the corner of Muskogee and Main Street in Okmulgee.
Attention coaches and athletic directors, you can bring your teams to the largest high school sports network in Oklahoma at no cost to you. Stream your games live across the state starting today. Join the network that has streamed over 1,000 varsity events in Oklahoma since August alone. You can join the OK Preps network today. And for more information on that, email broadcast@okpreps.tv or call 918-615-9615. Email address again, broadcast@okpreps.tv. We had the Bishop Kelly walk-off home run earlier in the show because of our wonderful network school, Bishop Kelly. Not only can you become a network school as well, but you can stream your games live on the OK Preps Network and get seen around the world, because that's where we broadcast from.
Worldwide,
baby.
Every corner of the world.
Worldwide. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. Welcome back to this week's edition of the OK Preps Roundup. Talking a little high school basketball now as we bring on our next guest, Edmond Memorial guard Curran Scott joins the program. Curran, first off, thanks for taking some time this morning to talk a little bit about your recruitment as well as your high school career this morning.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, let's start with the high school career before we dive on into recruiting and your upcoming decision. How would you describe your high school career? You spent the first 3 seasons at Edmond Santa Fe. Then you transfer to Edmond Memorial, and you're a part of a team that makes it to the state tournament, 1 win shy of the state championship game. How would you describe your high school career?
I would like to think that it was a successful career. I enjoyed my time at Santa Fe. I had a great 3 years there, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Coward, and that was, one of the main reasons for me coming to Memorial. And, obviously we fell a little short in the end, but I felt like we made the most of a great season this year.
Now, let me ask you this. As Santa Fe made it to the championship game, did that feel a little bittersweet as much as you worked with that Santa Fe basketball team? Then you leave to go to Edmond Memorial, and then Santa Fe makes it to the state title game. Was that a little bittersweet for you?
I wouldn't say bittersweet. Santa Fe, they got hot late and made a great run, and I have a lot of respect for all those guys over there, and I was rooting for them just as much as I wanted us to win. But in the end, we both ended up losing to Mustang. So I'm just glad that we made it where we did, and we played them close all the way down to the end.
Mustang, definitely one of the better teams we've seen in a while, finishing the season undefeated. Let's talk about the season. I mentioned this to you, and I talked with you about it during the regular season as it happened. When you broke the single season scoring record, and then you were just able to just add on to it as the season went on into the playoffs. What does that mean to you now? I mean, I know I talked to you about it then, but now that you've had some time to really think about setting the single season record for most points, when you think about the guys who have been there just in the last 5 years alone, the Woodard brothers, Obi Megano, Shaq Morris, Aaron Young, all playing at the Division I level right now, and you scored more points than all of them.
It's crazy to think that at the time I didn't think much about it. You're just playing basketball. You want to play well every game, but you're not thinking, end of the year I'm trying to break records. But if it happens, it happens. But like you said, all those guys that have come through Memorial, it's a great honor to be mentioned in the same breath with those guys. It's a great feeling.
Talking with Edmond Memorial guard Curran Scott here on the OK Preps Roundup. We mentioned it earlier this week that Scott had narrowed his choices down to Fresno State and Tulsa and was joining the program this morning to announce his commitment. He texted me last night, said he was not ready to make a decision at this time. So let me ask you this, because it's an interesting dynamic. You obviously had your sights set on 2 schools before last night. Did you come to a decision before that new opportunity that you were talking about to me last night? Did you make your decision before it came up?
Not really. I've been talking with those 2 programs throughout this whole process, and that's still 2 great options for me, and 2 that I'm still heavily considering. But I just want to take my time with the process, make sure that I make the right decision for myself and my family, and that's the biggest thing for me.
TU offered Curran earlier this week. He went on an unofficial visit to Tulsa this week, went on an official visit out to Fresno State a week ago or 2 weeks ago. How was the official visit to Fresno, and then we'll get into your unofficial to TU?
The official was to Fresno it was a good experience. Getting out there, meeting the players, and I've got a great relationship with Coach Jones and Coach Terry at Fresno, and they recruited Aaron when I was a freshman, so we've just been building a relationship ever since then. And it was good to get out there and see Fresno and see their facilities, and it's a really great school and a great basketball program.
And for those who aren't familiar, who might be listening, he said they recruited Aaron. They signed Aaron Anderson out of Edmond Santa Fe during Kern Scott's freshman year. And I know that name might sound familiar to some people here in Tulsa because he is currently on the ORU basketball roster. So, Kern, down to Fresno and TU, you took an unofficial to Tulsa, but you've been very familiar with this program. So, what was the visit on Thursday like, knowing that you'd been there a couple of times? You're very familiar with the coaching staff. What was the dynamic like on Thursday when you took your unofficial to TU?
It was more of a, meet with the coaches, talk about, their plan for me, what they expect out of me coming in. And, like you said, I know the coaches really well and have continued to build a relationship since they got the job last year. And, we've just been staying in constant communication ever since. So it was just them setting out, their sights, their goals for me next year, and if I were to come into Tulsa.
When you think about your game as an individual and how you see yourself playing at the next level, obviously it's at the Division I level. How do you think your game is going to translate to the Division I level?
I think that you can always improve in every aspect of your game, but I think that I'm a bigger, stronger guard, and I can get where I want to on the floor. I obviously still have to keep developing, maturing, and advancing my game. But I think that I can make an impact, hopefully immediately, whenever I step on campus.
Well, Curran, we appreciate you coming on this morning. Congratulations on the season. Loved watching you play. And look, I've watched you since I think it was right after your freshman years when I first saw you. The AAU session in between your freshman and sophomore seasons is when I first saw you. So enjoyed watching you mature, enjoyed watching you continue to develop and have the season that you had this year. And I'll tell you, I told you last night, it's an open invitation whenever you decide that you're ready to make that decision. It's an open invitation to come right back on the OK Preps Roundup, and we'll have a little announcement ceremony for you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me on today.
Absolutely. That's Curran Scott, Edmond Memorial guard. He has a decision on his hand. And look, he said out of respect for the colleges recruiting him, he didn't want to disclose the new opportunity that came up last night. And look, I'm not gonna bother him for that. It's not like,
sure.
Look, I have a job to do, man. I need to report this stuff. No, it's your future. It's your college future. I'm not gonna get in the middle of that.
It's recruiting. You can tell us what you want to tell us.
Yeah,
at some point we're gonna know where you're gonna go.
Yeah, you're going to have to eventually sign, and we'll all know. So if you want to announce it on the show, cool. Either way, we're going to have you on to talk about your future plans at college, whether it's at Fresno State, whether it's at TU, or whether it's wherever.
And we got a couple, still high school basketball notes. Former players, Lakota Beatty transferring from OSU to ORU across the street.
Former Anadarko standout.
And then Corey Bilberry, former Booker T standout, going to VCU.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, he texted me and said, "I'm a VCU Ram." I kind of looked at my phone like, "Okay, really?"
I saw the tweet first. See, that's the thing. For those who don't know, Corey Bilberry helped Booker T. Washington win a state championship back in 2010, 2010 or 2011. Helped them win the 5A state title. I believe that was their last state championship as well.
That team was loaded, by the way. Tyler Lockett.
Not even
a great basketball player.
Fabian Glasgow, who's an underrated guy, went on to, I believe, Langston.
Yeah.
Or not Langston. Either way. Yeah. He's playing Division I basketball because I saw he signed with a D1 program. You also had Jawan Parker, who's now at Georgia, and we know how good he was, and he was a young cat during that team as well. But Corey Bilberry signed with ORU out of Booker T. Washington, ran into some troubles, I guess, this season.
He told me it was a, quote, lack of communication, whatever that is.
Okay, so I guess it was a mutual decision between ORU and him to part ways after this season, and he tweeted out, "I'm a Ram," and I was like, "Where? Like Owasso? What's going on? What's going? Are you playing football? Did you get is St. Louis coming after? I don't know. Which Rams are you talking about?" Then did a little research. VCU.
Yeah.
I think that might be the first Oklahoma kid play for VCU. We'll have to go into research and development for that.
I should note that Corey is going to graduate, so good for him, and he'll be eligible right away. So
awesome.
Yep.
Like his game too. His game.
Well, the fact that he led ORU in rebounding at 6'3" is pretty impressive. I've always found that pretty fascinating. Really.
Good stat.
Yeah.
Good stat. Does VCU have a coach?
They do. I believe it was one of Shaka Smart's assistants. I can't remember the
they
guy's name off the top
within.
of my head. I think so.
I knew Shaka left for Texas, so
yeah.
I wasn't sure. Look, high school sports, that's what I do. So I'm not up to date on who the VCU basketball coach is. Sorry.
Unacceptable.
I'm lucky I know that Shaka Smart left. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. Hour number 1 is in the books. When we come back, we're going to talk recruiting again, only this time on the gridiron, with Oologah linebacker Jimmy McKinney. He's going to join the program. We're also going to have the updated list of who got offers this week. It's about this long, and for those listening on radio, there's like 17 guys who got. I'm kind of fibbing a little bit, but not that much. Also, John Hoover is going to come up in our next segment from the Tulsa World to talk about a special recruiting project he has coming up for tomorrow's paper. We'll have him on to discuss that in our next segment as well. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. This is the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports and sports animal, as well as streaming all over the world on the OK Preps Network.
Having a hard time keeping up with all things sports?
Do you have anything you want to own up to?
Your friends thinking you're a little batty?
The guy's nuttier than squirrel turds.
Then leave it here for all things sports. Playing sports is hard. It takes coordination.
Go out and catch a ball for a change, all right?
And timing.
We got time for one play. We don't stop the clock, it's over.
But listening to sports is easy. Plus, we're here 24/7. This is
Sports. This is the Sports Animal.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
If you want to start college strong and finish debt-free, let Tulsa Achieves pay for your college. Tulsa Community College is accepting applications for the next class of Tulsa Achieves students now. Tulsa Achieves pays up to 100% of college tuition and fees for eligible Tulsa County students. The program is open to public, private, and homeschooled graduating seniors who have a GPA of 2.0 or above and live in Tulsa County. This means seniors graduating in May 2015 can attend TCC next fall at no cost. The first priority date is April 30th, so you need to apply now. To learn more about Tulsa Achieves, call Tulsa Community College at 918-595-7834, or go online at www.tulsacc.edu/Tulsa Achieves. Debt-free college. That's money in the bank with TCC Tulsa Achieves.
Your home for sports. AM 1470 KGND Veneta, 96.1 FM KITO Veneta, AM 1490 KBIX Muskogee, AM 1550 KYAL AM Sapulpa, and K233AU Tulsa, 94.5 FM and 97.1 FM KYAL Muskogee Tulsa. The Sports Animal.
The Event Center at Rivers Spirit is the spot to watch boxing's biggest and most eagerly anticipated matchup. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Saturday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. Experience this live pay-per-view event up close and personal. 5 giant screens, superior picture, and awesome sound. Tickets are on sale now at riverspirittulsa.com or the Players Club box office. Plus, exclusive ringside tables for 10 are also available. Don't miss these two legends on one unforgettable fight night. Mayweather-Pacquiao. Saturday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. only at Event Center at Rivers Spirit, 81st and Riverside.
Mother's Day is coming, and the Vintage Pearl has the perfect Mother's Day gifts. Why not get her something she'll keep and cherish forever? The Vintage Pearl creates meaningful, hand-stamped sterling silver jewelry and keepsakes perfect for Mother's Day. Each piece at the Vintage Pearl is handmade and can be personalized with names, initials, and special words or phrases that make each piece unique. Stop by their store at 81st and Lewis or online at thevintagepearl.com.
Because we didn't hear this song enough during college football season. Look, it's a good song. It's good. It got old during the college football playoff, but it's good. Had to throw it in.
You can't hate good music.
No. Hour number 2 of the OK Preps Roundup is live on your home for sports and sports animal, as well as streaming all over the world on the OK Preps Network. For those watching on the network, you've already seen the amazing changes to okpreps.tv. For those listening on the Sports Animal, come look at the new and improved OK Preps. It's now more fan-friendly. OK Preps has school pages for every school across Oklahoma, and with updated team pages and, of course, that can't-miss coverage and live broadcasts, OK Preps has become the state's all-around leader for high school sports. Hour number 2 is live, and joining us now live is Oologah linebacker Jimmy McKinney. Each week we start hour number 2 talking recruiting with some of the better players around the state of Oklahoma. This week it's Oologah linebacker Jimmy McKinney. Jimmy, first off, thanks for taking some time this morning to join us here on the OK Preps Roundup.
Hey, no problem. Glad to be here.
Now, Oologah made it all the way to the state championship game last year in Class 4A, losing to Wagner after beating them earlier in the season. Does the loss still sting now?
Yeah, very much. We're working hard in the weight room and off season to go and get that gold ball next year.
Now, let me ask you this.
We got a dirty taste in our mouth left over from that.
Do you use that as the driving motivator? Do you guys still talk about it when you're working out in the weight room? Or is it just an unspoken deal now where, look, everybody knows what happened and you're working hard this off season to make sure it doesn't happen this season?
It's very well spoken about. We actually have pictures printed off of them holding the gold ball up, posted in our lockers to motivate us. But
now, earlier this offseason, you got that first Division I offer, and since then it's been a weekly theme for you to get at least one Division I offer. We release our recruiting notebook every single Monday, and I think we've had you listed in the notebook for about 5 straight weeks now. So continually getting that Division I looks and Division I offers. What was it like for you to get that first one, though? Because the first one's always special. What was it like for you?
It was just a big weight off my shoulders, I was very happy about it because I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to go D1 at the beginning of this season. But, I was very happy about it, very blessed. But, first one's the toughest one. After that, then colleges start looking at you more interested.
Hey, Jimmy, Ben Johnson, thanks for joining us this morning. I know last year, talking to Coach Craig, kind of got banged up last year, dealing with some injuries here and there. How's the health doing so far going into the summer?
It's going great, this is probably the best I've ever felt. I started up training for my body and just mobility and stuff, and I'm feeling great. I'm actually at a track meet right now. About to run.
Well, there you go.
He's about to run. We're just going to talk to him a couple more minutes, and then he has, like he mentioned, his track meet. We talked about what it was like to get that first offer, Jimmy. We're talking with the Oologah linebacker, Jimmy McKinney, by the way, here on the OK Preps Roundup. Jimmy, what was the most surprising offer? I could run down the list, but you got offers from major schools like Air Force, Arkansas State, Colorado State, Wyoming. Who was the most surprising offer?
Probably Colorado State. It came out of nowhere. I was not ready for it.
And now
it was very surprising, and my coach actually really loves their school. So it was kind of a big thing when he told me that they were going to offer, and then I started looking at them, and I was like, oh man, very excited about it.
Now, you did play on both sides of the ball last year at Oologah. What do you like playing more, offense or defense?
For sure, defense. That is my heart and soul. I love defense.
Now,
I love stroking someone and then looking over them as they're on the ground. That gets me going.
Don't stand over the kid too long because you'll get a penalty thrown on you.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about Colorado State being the most surprising. If you had a dream school to offer you, a school you always watched growing up, I ask kids this all the time, always interested to see what their response is. What would be that dream school for you?
I really don't have a dream school anymore, honestly. It used to be like a big thing growing up for me was like OU.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since I was a freshman, I just started looking at like colleges because I knew I was going to play college ball, just didn't know where. So I just started looking at where I would be more comfortable at. And, I really don't have the best one, my favorite one.
I got you. Well, Jimmy, it was good catching up with you and talking with you for the first time here on the OK Preps Roundup. I know you got to run, literally, at that track meet right now, so I appreciate you taking some time to there it is. There's some track going on in the background. Jimmy, thanks for taking some time this morning to talk to us.
And there he goes.
Yeah, well.
He just took off running.
He did. That was the start. That was the start. He took off. We'll catch up with him on down the summer, but wanted to get him on to talk a little recruiting because he has been one of the fastest movers in recruiting here in Oklahoma. Let's talk about the players that got Division I offers this week. And look, I said the list was about 17 kids long. It's not, but it's close. It's double digits.
It's more like 40. 50.
No, yeah, I was underestimating. No. We'll start actually in the 2017 class. Collinsville linebacker Levi Draper picked up 4 offers this week from Tulsa, Arkansas State, Illinois, and SMU. Already holds an offer from Louisville, one of the top prospects in the 2017 class. He headlines this week's worth of offers as he picked up several this week in the 2017 class. You go back to 2016, Terry Wilson, Del City quarterback, picked up offers from Nebraska and Colorado. Interesting, both teams formerly of the Big 12. Mm-hmm. Both of them have been seen in Oklahoma a lot this offseason, recruiting some of Oklahoma's best.
Well, we talked about it last week with Nebraska.
And the Mike Riley effect.
Mike Riley connection from Oregon
yeah.
State, so don't be surprised when the Nebraska name is popping up a lot more in Oklahoma.
Speaking of the Big 12, Texas Tech extended an offer to sophomore defensive end Noah Jones. An underrated prospect in this class that I like the more I see of him, Edison defensive lineman Alex Criddle. I don't know if he's necessarily a defensive lineman. He's a lineman, period. Put him on either side of the line of scrimmage. He's going to help you win ball games. Hawaii offered Mr. Criddle, which, again, take an official there. Do it. Why not? You got 5. They extended the offer. They want you, so take an official.
His offers are kind of funny to look at because
they're all over.
You go from Hawaii to Harvard to Tulane to Navy. I mean, it just take your pick of.
You're going all over the country.
Yeah, I mean, you can go for the best education there is. You can go to a tropical island. You can join Special Forces, or you can go to New Orleans.
Man, it's all over the board.
Well, I just helped him narrow it down there.
There you go. Hey, look, it's done. Just make your decision based off of that. Ben Johnson, with the recruiting analysis right there.
Right.
Jeremy Lewis, a running back out of Lone Grove. I really like his game. He was offered by Texas State. He's another kid who's been offered by Nebraska as well. Texas State threw their name in the mix. One of the fastest rising recruits, though. We mentioned Jimmy McKinney, but over the last 2 weeks alone, one of the fastest rising recruits is Lexington offensive lineman Tyler Brown. He went on unofficial visits to OU and OSU within the last couple of weeks. Doesn't hold offers from them yet. Did get an offer from TU. Did get an offer from Wyoming as Wyoming continues to come into Oklahoma. I have no idea what the connection is at all. I don't. I'm going to spend 1 week just researching that. And that's all the show is going to be on the Saturday. It's just why Wyoming is successful recruiting Oklahomans, because I don't understand it right now, and I want to.
I remember in high school, you know Jason Ray. I
Yes.
graduated with him at Broken Arrow, was a coach at OSU this last year.
Yep.
His younger brother, Michael, went to Wyoming, and I always wondered how in the world he ended up at Wyoming and kind of how that played out. So there's got to be something there, so I'm going to let you do the
research.
Investigation.
It's happening this summer. We're going to figure it out. Lawton MacArthur, offensive lineman, TJ Fialua. Man, I might have butchered that last name.
That sounded pretty good.
But I don't want to mess it up because that is one bad dude. He's a big old boy, and he will block you with authority. A big offensive lineman from Lawton Mac. He got offered by North Texas. Don't be surprised if he really emerges this spring and summer with some big-time Division I offers from some of the power conference schools. Rico Bussey, another kid from Lawton, this time Lawton Eisenhower, a receiver, got 2 offers from the Armed Forces, Air Force, as well as Army. Offered Rico. That was his first D1 offers. He got 2 of them this week.
I've never been to Army, but I've seen Air Force's campus, and I'm pretty sure when people go visit there, you're sold.
They've had a couple kids from Oklahoma in the last several years.
But I'm a mountains guy, too.
Yeah, I'm biased.
I know.
I'm biased against the Army. A.J. Parker, cornerback from Bartlesville, picked up his first offer from Central Arkansas. I can't help but look at their field and laugh, though. So,
Central Arkansas.
Congratulations on the first Division I offer, but I hope he doesn't go there because I won't be able to watch you play college ball without laughing. It's like purple and silver every 5 yards. They mix and match. I don't get it.
Well, we have Boise State to thank for all these field, turf, color schemes.
Whatever, man.
Green is still a color.
It
Just
is.
throwing that out there.
It is. You can just go with the old-fashioned green. Speaking of Central Arkansas, they offered Owasso offensive lineman Brandon Scott. So Scott got his first Division I offer from Central Arkansas as well. Kyle Mayberry, Booker T. Washington cornerback, he got his second Division I offer, this time from Sam Houston State. Add that to South Dakota from a week ago. And Austin Quillen, who is committed to Vanderbilt still, he got his, double-digit. Look, I'm looking at the list right now. About 15th offer, maybe, from Arizona this time. They throw their hat into the mix. But Quillen has remained firm with Vanderbilt. We'll see if he continues to do so throughout the spring and summer months. We're about to get hooked up with John Hoover of the Tulsa World, a sports columnist for them. He has an interesting piece coming up in the Tulsa World. It's going to debut tomorrow in the paper. It's a year-long project, and he talked to me about it earlier this week, and I'm very interested to see how this project unfolds, and it's something that we haven't seen before in Oklahoma, and he's about to join us to discuss it a little bit more. This is the OK Preps Roundup here on your home for sports, the sports animal, as well as streaming all over the world on the OK Preps Network. I'm your host, Michael Knight, joined alongside Ben Johnson. By the way, before we get to John, we want to remind you, for all those listening as well as watching, each and every single Monday we release the OK Preps Recruiting Notebook, so you'll be able to check that out every Monday. We recap the week that was in recruiting. Sometimes we catch up with some of these recruits, get some thoughts from them. A lot of them have been on unofficial visits over the last couple of weeks, so you get that every single Monday on okpreps.tv/gridiron. Joining the program now, sports columnist for the Tulsa World, John Hoover, joins the OK Preps Roundup this morning. John, first off, thanks for taking some time this morning. And looking forward to hearing some more information about this special project you got coming up.
Hey, Michael. How you doing? Thank you for having me, first of all. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about this because it really is a special project. What we're doing is we're following around 2 kids for an entire recruiting cycle from signing day of their junior year to signing day of their senior year. And it's 2 kids that a lot of your listeners are going to be familiar with, and that's Mason Fine and Jason Pirtle, the outstanding quarterback and wide receiver combination from Locust Grove. A couple of great guys, some really good families, obviously, that I've gotten to know, and Coach Hennessy, of course, is always fun to deal with.
Yeah.
But that's, it's what we're trying to do is figure out how a guy who throws for 5,000 yards and 71 touchdowns, you were going down the list a few minutes ago, doesn't have any Division I offers yet. So looking forward to getting into that and just seeing how that evolves.
Well, he does have at least one that I know of. Austin P, if you count that. It is an FCS school, but
FBS.
it is a Division I program. Jason, I don't believe, has any Division I offers even at the FCS level. And really, I mean, it's something that we see every year, and I'm interested to see how this project unfolds over the next year or so. Because we see kids like this almost every year who put up just gargantuan stats and just rewrite the record book. Now, this is a little different because we haven't seen 5,000 yards before. We haven't seen 71 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions before. But we see guys similar to that, and because of their build, because of their height, and because of the stigma that's attached to it, they don't get the looks that a lot of people around the state each and every single year believe that they should.
Yeah, Mason fits that mold. I mean, he's 5'10". When he got out of basketball, he was about 161 pounds. He's drinking like 3 or 4, 5 protein shakes a day. He's eating constantly. He's not going to get any taller, but he's trying to put on some muscle mass, get up to, by recruiting, by signing day of his senior year, maybe get up to around 180, just to show the recruiters and the college coaches that he has this drive, he has this commitment. He's just got, if anybody out there has not seen him play, drive 45 minutes this fall to Locust Grove. The ball comes out of his hand. It's just unbelievable how good a thrower he is, how good his motion is. He's been working on it since he was 8 years old. His delivery is flawless. And then the other side of it is Pirtle. Do you ever see Pirtle drop anything? I mean, I think I might have seen him drop one during the last 2 games of the season, but his hands, and not just his hands, his route running and his playmaking ability. He made a play against Heritage Hall where the kid was hanging on his face mask over his shoulder, and he basically caught the ball and caught it and turned around and ran 70 yards for a touchdown. It's just captivating to watch these guys play, and so that's where this idea kind of came from was they are really phenomenal football players, and as I write in my column in tomorrow's Tulsa World, and it'll be online here this afternoon, they're at the top of their game, and yet the Division I, the FBS schools are noticeably absent.
Hey, John, Ben Johnson, thanks for coming on with us
Ben.
and talking about your piece. Whenever you guys sat down and started this project, were there any other names that you contemplated, or was it pretty much Mason Fine and Jason from the get-go?
It was those 2 guys because the origin of this, the genesis is, the Oklahoma City Douglas game last year, where they got a bunch of attention, right? And so everybody in the state basically for 2 weeks descended on Locust Grove. Well, as I'm going out there and watching them practice, I'm thinking, I can't wait to watch this Mason Fine kid, pass the ball. I'm sure he's really good, rolling my eyes internally. And I get out there and watch them practice, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
Is there a better high school passer in the state of Oklahoma? I don't know if there is.
No.
And he goes to that Nike or that Rivals camp, that regional, the quarterback challenge, and he misses moving on to the finals with a bunch of 6'3", 6'4", 220-pound, 4-star, 5-star guys. He misses it by less than an inch, where he threw the ball and hit a target and it didn't go in, or it could have gone in. That's how good he is. And so when I saw him passing in practice last year, I got the idea, hey, for my next column, for this weekend's column, I'd like to write about their game, their playoff game, semifinal game against Heritage Hall. And so after watching them play for a whole game, watching the Matt Hennessy offense, which is just, as I describe it in the column, is just unhinged, and seeing how that program, knowing what some of the stories are behind them, I just, went into signing day thinking this is something that we need to do. We need to follow these guys, if not every day, several times a week for an entire year and just see where it goes.
And I know you told me I don't know if you've been to Locust Grove since, but pretty memorable the last time you were there, considering it was the day the tornadoes ripped through Oklahoma.
Yeah, that was the night. That was March 25th. I went something like 3 times in a 14-day span, and that there were tornadoes crossing Highway 82. It was pretty crazy. I just want to say also that the work that I'm doing, I'm just putting together. I'm telling a story. I'm putting together words on a paper. The real artist behind this whole project, in my opinion, and the video was posted yesterday, and his photos are going to be up on the website this afternoon. John Clanton from our staff. He's our multimedia producer. The guy has an unbelievable gift for telling stories. There's a video up right now at TulsaWorldTV.com. It looks like something that the 30 for 30 producers did, or something out of Friday Night Tykes, or something that's just as good as you'll find. It almost looks like Hoop Dreams. It's as good as you'll find visually and music and tempo. And I was lucky enough to ask me to narrate it, but John's images are just captivating to look at and to watch. So I want everybody to check out our website for that, because it is really fascinating, man. It's really beautiful, the work he did.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to seeing how it unfolds. And, John, we'll have to definitely have you on again and basically update everybody on what's going on throughout the summer months. Obviously very important in recruiting and on into their senior seasons, but definitely happy to have you on today to kind of kick off the project tomorrow.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you guys, Michael and Ben, for having me on. You guys have a great show, and I enjoy listening to it.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate that. John Hoover of the Tulsa World joins us as we spotlight recruiting each and every single week to kick off hour number 2, and that's how we do it today. We talked with Oologah linebacker Jimmy McKinney, ran down the list of who got offers this week, and John has a special recruiting piece coming up starting tomorrow. You heard him talk about online. It's available to check out today, and hopefully we can get him on as the project unfolds. Definitely interested to see how that goes, because you have guys like this every year, not like 5,000 yards, but still. You have guys who just put up huge stats, and you're just blown away. You're like, oh, he's only going to go to Emporia State or wherever it may be.
Well, Emporia State's sitting there thinking, please, no one offered this kid, please.
Exactly. They're looking at Pittsburgh State.
Right.
They're the same way. You have kids like that every single year. So interesting to see how their recruiting process unfolds throughout the next several months. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. We'll take a time out. When we come back, Sean Garner will join us from Excel Performance Training for another Thrive Performance tip. He'll join us live from the gym coming up in our next segment. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. It's the OK Preps Roundup here on your home for sports, the sports animal, as well as streaming all over the world on the OK Preps Network.
The NL Central has been Cardinals territory. This year, St. Louis will battle to stay on top and fight to reach the World Series.
Bring it along and get up, baby. Get up. Oh, yeah.
Cardinals baseball on the Animal is brought to you by Green Country Ford, Roofscapes Exteriors, and the St. Louis Union Station Hotel.
Let's hit deep to center field. Way back and off the wall.
We're your home for Cards baseball. AM 1550, 94.5 FM, and 96.1 FM, the Sports Animal.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
Some of you have made the call to Partners Lawn Care to get your lawn prepped for a lush green lawn for the summer. Some of you think it's too late. Well, it's not. It's still pre-emergent season for your lawn. You still got time to get your lawn treated so you don't have that summer full of weeds. You still don't really want to do it anyway, and deep down you know you don't have the knowledge or experience to do it right. However, the guys at Partners Lawn Care do. They've been greening up residential lawns all over Tulsa and surrounding communities and can green up your business too. With Partners Lawn Care, you are not bound by contracts, and you can easily make appointments and pay online at partnerslawncare.com. You can still be the cock of the walk in your neighborhood this year with the greenest, weed-free lawn in the whole subdivision. It's not too late. Just Google Partners Lawn Care for all the info you need to check Partners out and set your first treatment. Partners Lawn Care, weed control, and fertilization. Together, we'll get results.
You've heard other dealers offering free oil changes for life, and you thought to yourself, there has to be a catch. Well, usually there is, except at Hodge Ford. Hey, this is Jack Hodge, and we are now offering free oil changes for life for anyone who buys a new or used vehicle. And that's not all. If you ever bought from Hodge, you get free oil changes for life. You heard right.
Jack, so you're saying if you buy any car or own any car from Hodge, you can get your oil change for free as long as you own your car? Are you a little crazy?
Maybe just a little. And hey, it doesn't matter if you bought a diesel or your car takes synthetic oil. We'll honor free oil changes for life up to 4 times a year or every 5,000 miles. Get a free oil change as long as you own your Hodge Ford. That's the Hodge Promise.
You heard it from the owner himself. Free oil changes for life at Hodge Ford. Experience the Hodge Ford difference. Come by or call today or go to HodgeFord.com. Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main in Muskogee.
Yeah, welcome back to the OK Preps Roundup here on your home for sports, the sports animal, and streaming all over the world, including in Brooklyn, the OK Preps Network. Look, if you're in there, if you're in Brooklyn and you're going hard, you can be watching the OK Preps Roundup.
Getting ready for the playoff game in Brooklyn today.
That's right. They're
dropping some NBA in the high school roundup.
Yeah, they're going to lose.
Yeah, they will.
They're not very good.
Wait, is the NBA still going since the Thunder didn't make the playoffs? Oh, sorry.
Speaking of that, I actually might not be the host for very much longer because I've gone ahead and thrown my hat in the ring for the head coach opening. I haven't heard anything from the Thunder just yet, but I think that's because they're a little intimidated. They don't think I'm serious about it. They're like, we can't get him, but I'm available. That's what I'm saying. If you want me to coach your team and win some championships, plural.
Rings for days.
Rings. Multiple. By the way, if you're looking for a new job, and I might be here in a couple minutes, just throwing my name in the ring for the Thunder opening. If you're looking for a new and exciting career, OK Preps is the place for you. It's the fastest growing high school sports network, and we're looking for a new marketing and sales director. If you think you're perfect for that role in our growing network, you can call 918-615-9615, extension number 501, or you can email jobs@okpreps.tv. Change your future today by joining the OK Preps Network. And now, look, every single week, love having him on. Energetic guy, helping Northeast Oklahoma get better. We're talking about Excel Performance Training. We're happy to welcome in Sean Garner of Excel. He joins the program every Saturday with a Thrive Tip of the Week, and Sean is out in the gym right now. And so, Sean, we'll let you have the floor.
Thank you so much, guys. Always great to be with you every week here at Excel Performance Training. Now, this week, we want to bring to you some tips about lower body plyometric training. Power development is very important for athletes and adults alike. As you age, you actually lose power 3 times faster than you lose strength. Now, how we define power here at Excel Performance Training is the ability to accelerate or decelerate, or that being able to create force and then properly absorb it. Very important for athletes being able to stop in those appropriate positions like we talked a few weeks back on our ACL prevention tips. So what we do with all of our athletes is we start them out with the most basic of lower body plyometric moves, the box jump. Now for the box jump, what we want to do, guys, is look at a few different things. One is whenever we select the box height, we want to make sure that it's not going to be too tall. You can't pick a box that's too low, but you can pick one that's too high. So how we determine the box jump height is you should be able to start and land in the same position. So for example, whenever I go to initiate my jump, if I'm in this quarter squat position, when I land, it should be back into that quarter squat position. What we see a lot of times when athletes are selecting a box that's too high is we kind of get these little frog-style box jumps that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do. We're trying to teach and emphasize that eccentric or that deceleration. So if we're landing in this soft position, it's not going to translate over to sport as much as we'd like it to. The other thing that we want to do is make sure that we use this for power development. A box jump isn't a conditioning tool, so whenever we do box jumps, we keep it around 3 to 5 sets of about 5 reps. So again, guys, one thing that we want to make sure, feet are about shoulder width apart, we're sitting the hips back, driving through the heels, and we're extending the hips or opening up or standing up all the way through our box jump, landing nice and softly. One thing that we say all the time is a box jump should be seen and not heard. We don't want to slam our feet down to the ground, but again, we're learning how to eccentric or land properly in that strong position. Guys, this is a great tool that you should be adding prior to or post any warm-up that you do before you start any strength training. We do our dynamic warm-up, power development, strength, and then our conditioning part of the program. It's good to incorporate that before you get into your heavy lifting, get that central nervous system firing up so that way you're able to move some big weights. Guys, thank you as always for watching. For more Thrive tips, please visit us on our website, excelperformancetraining.com. And for more information about how you can do this yourself here at our gym, please call us at 918-9494-223. Back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, Sean, as always. Looking forward to talking with you next week. And for more information, like he mentioned, on how you can get hooked up with Excel and start training with the pros, you can go visit excelperformancetraining.com. We highly recommend you do that. If you have a kid who, it doesn't matter what sport he or she is in, Sean Garner of Excel Performance Training, one of the best trainers in Northeast Oklahoma, especially here in the Tulsa metro area. He will help you get just a little bit better. And we have a little bit of proof of that. Last night found out that our technical producer, Joshua Stokes, his son Caleb, goes and works out with Sean Garner Excel Performance Training, only in 8th grade, and is able to touch the rim now. So his explosion is getting a little bit better each and every single week. So it works. It definitely works. We got proof that it works. And Sean, one of the best, and he'll join us again next Saturday with another Thrive performance tip. Looking forward to that. We'll take a time out. When we come back, we're going to talk more spring sports as we dive right on back into what's going on right now on the field. And we'll talk with Owasso girls soccer coach Sam Bowers, as well as Broken Arrows girls golf.
There you go.
There we go. Broken Arrows girls golf's coach Charlie Brown, which shouldn't you go by Charles or Chuck? I mean, Charlie Brown, it's not. It's a lot worse than Michael Knight. Look, I had to deal with the whole, so you got a talking car named Kit, Knight Rider, Michael Knight? No, this is a little worse. Charlie Brown's a little more known than
Now that I think
David
about it,
Hasselhoff.
you should have the sweetest ringtone on your phone of all time, but that's a big missed opportunity by you.
I don't. I just have a generic phone ringing. And it's the most bland thing ever. Granted, my phone's hardly ever on all the way, so normally on vibrate, so it's not like I'd hear it anyway.
Okay.
We got to hit a timeout before we talk about ringtones for more than 5 seconds.
Or Knight Rider.
Yeah, exactly. That's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. We're talking more spring sports, talking a little golf, talking a little soccer when we come back on the OK Preps Roundup. Also, by the way, you can go right now to okpreps.tv/your take and vote. We got about 20 minutes left in the show before we debate who's had the best season so far, most dominant season. We're talking baseball, individual performances right now. Westmore and Heritage Hall coming strong on the Your Take poll as they've blown it away. Over 1,000 votes so far and counting. Ben and I will talk about that in our last segment. You still have time to go vote right now. We're talking more spring sports when we come back. It's the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports, the sports animal, and all over the world on the OK Preps Network.
Def Leppard. The greatest power pop band to ever masquerade as metal, according to New York Magazine. And their North American tour is coming to the BOK Center in Tulsa October 9th. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com or bokcenter.com. Be listening for your chance to win tickets to see Def Leppard along with Foreigner and Tesla on your home for great giveaways. The Sports Animal.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
Based on your effort. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in Tulsa? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Tulsa area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Tulsa is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-339-2252. Seating is extremely limited. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. That's 1-800-339-2252. That's 1-800-339-2252.
At Peterson Chiropractic, they do more than practice with spinal manipulations. They are a state-of-the-art multidiscipline practice utilizing several techniques, including active release technique, or ART. The other tools in their arsenal include physical therapy through applied functional science, and for those with disc-related injuries, the DRX 9000, the latest in non-surgical spinal decompression. At Peterson Chiropractic, they treat a variety of patients, from professional athletes to personal injuries to the average person seeking treatment for everyday aches and pains. And no cookie-cutter approach at Peterson Chiropractic. Dr. Michael Peterson offers each person an individualized treatment plan specific to your needs. You'll find Peterson Chiropractic in the building just west of Gold's Gym at 68th and Memorial in Tulsa. Call to schedule an appointment today. Visit Peterson Chiropractic on the web at petersonchiropractictulsa.com.
Welcome back, OK Preps Roundup here on your home for sports, sports animal, and streaming all over the world on the OK Preps Network. We're pleased to announce the first ever OK Preps 7-on-7 showcase coming up this summer. OK Preps will be hosting 2 7-on-7 tournaments this June for high schools in the lovely state of Oklahoma. Teams from all over the state in various classes will be participating in this inaugural event. For more information, you can email me at michael.knight@okpreps.tv. That email address again is michael.knight@okpreps.tv for more information on the 7-on-7 showcase coming up this summer. That's football, but we're talking soccer right now, as joining the program now is Owasso girls soccer coach Sam Bowers here on the OK Preps Roundup. Owasso undefeated so far this season, and the playoffs right around the corner. Coach, thanks for taking some time this morning to talk a little soccer with us.
You're welcome. Thanks. I appreciate being on.
Now, looking at your schedule, according to OSSA rankings, the season, regular season wrapped up this week, playoffs starting soon. How's the team looking going into the postseason?
We're pretty confident. We finished up the regular season last night. We beat a pretty solid Bartlesville team 3-0, and I believe the playoffs will start May 5th, and I believe we'll draw the Sapulpa Chieftains. But as far as team-wise, we're pretty healthy. We've got some bumps and bruises, but we have a week off, so hopefully we can take care of those and clean up a few things that we need to take care of.
Now, Coach, a game that I paid attention to this week was Jinx traveling to Union in a battle of 2 undefeated teams. Obviously, a lot of people around here know about the Jinx-Union rivalry. Did you guys pay any attention to the game on Thursday night between them? And do you see Union or Jinx as your biggest threat to a possible 6A state title?
Oh, absolutely. As far as a threat, they're a threat to anyone. Did we pay attention? Yes, I have it on DVR. We know who they are. Their kids and my kids all play club soccer together, and those two are predominantly the 2 favorites. They really are. They're 2 of the better programs. The kids, they're coached real well. Kids are incredible. They play at a high level, and when those 2 teams play, special things happen, and so it was a good game to watch. I was impressed with both of them.
And now when you look at some of the teams over on the west side, and we're kind of discrediting Bishop Kelly, they've won some state championships here recently, but they've struggled this year. But the defending champion is Norman North at 11-1. Their one loss, I believe, was out of state. Nope, they lost to Jinx, and the Lady Trojans took care of business in that one. 8-0 beat Norman North. at this point, when you think about the teams closest to you, with Union and Jinx being so successful this season, do you almost forget about Norman North, that they are the defending champs?
Well, I think on the east side, I think that the east side is a lot more balanced, and soccer is one of these things that we don't cross bracket like in other sports. So being on the east side, we have a tendency to overlook the west side, because we really will not start running into teams until the semifinals. Whereas in other sports, they cross bracket in second round, and the east side coaches, we would love to cross bracket. Mm-hmm. So it's not that we overlook them. It's just you have to go through the East to even worry about getting to the West. And, your second-round matchups, if you're district champions, your second-round matchup could be against one of the top two teams in the state of Oklahoma. And so it's not overlooking them. It's just you have enough to worry about over here until you get to that point.
Right. We're talking with Owasso girls soccer coach Sam Bowers here on the OK Preps Roundup. Coach, we'll get you out of here on this. What does your team have to do to win a state championship? You mentioned navigating the waters over here on the east side, but on the field, is there something that you want to see improvement on? It's hard to improve on undefeated and no losses, but is there something on the field you want to improve on as the playoffs are right around the corner?
Yeah, as a coach, there's a lot we can improve on, but some of the things that we have to do, we're kind of a possession-based team. We like to move the ball around and pass it, where a lot of teams like to play direct. In football terms, it would be like a team that would run the ball all the time, or teams that throw the bombs, the fades all the time. We're possession-based, and, we need to work on our finishing. A lot of times we struggle with finishing. We just don't have that true goal scorer that can take it on and change the game themselves. And as far as what we need is probably like everybody else, you're going to need some luck. I don't know how many goals are missed by 2 or 3 inches or just small little things. You're going to have to play well and hope you get a little luck on your side. And, in girls soccer, it's a 1-0 game, a 2-0 game, and, it changes. It just with the smallest detail. So,
hey, Coach, we appreciate your time this morning to talk a little bit about your program and the playoffs right around the corner. Looking forward to seeing how it unfolds, and the chances of there being a state champion here in the Tulsa metro area are pretty high, with Owasso as well as Union and Jinx all having fantastic seasons so far. Thanks for coming on this morning.
I appreciate it, guys. Have a good day.
That's Owasso girls soccer coach Sam Bowers joining the program. We stay on the girls side of things, but switch sports to golf as Broken Arrow girls golf coach Charlie Brown joins the program now. Coach, first off, thanks for taking some time this morning to join us to talk about your program. And now, look, with 6A girls golf, the last couple of years, and last 4 to be exact, it's been owned by Union with 4 straight state championships. What do you guys have to do to dethrone your rivals from over here in Tulsa?
Well, first, guys, thanks for having me on today. We just have to play within our game and what our girls can do. We can't control what Union does, but, if we go out and play like we have so far this year, I feel pretty confident that, we can win that title.
Hey, Charlie, Ben Johnson, thanks for all your help throughout the golf season this year. How proud have you been of your team over the last 3 tournaments? I know the Muskogee tournament was made up, but to go out and win the Muskogee tournament, win the Frontier Conference tournament, and then win the 6A preview has to give you a lot of confidence heading into this week's regional tournament, right?
It does. It shows that our girls are ready to go and they're playing well, but, that's 3 tournaments on our goal to get to the state title. So we have 2 more to go, and hopefully we can finish off the year like we've started the year.
How about Taylor Dobson? What does she do for your team? I think I've asked you this before, but, for everyone else out there, what does she do as the leader of this team to try and rally the team around her on a tournament-by-tournament basis?
Taylor's pretty consistent. She practices really hard. She's very much self-motivated, and she gets out there. She doesn't like to lose, and quite honest, I think that trickles down to the rest of the girls with their mentality of, I don't want to lose today. So it helps a lot with her mentality, not to mention her game of go with it.
And I'll give you a second, just kind of maybe talk about the other 4 girls that routinely contribute to your scores. I mean, I know you got Shannon Stewart and then Bailey Brewer and some other girls. You know, how important are they to the essence of the team, basically?
Well, they're very important because for us to reach our goal, we have to have depth, and we have to have 4 to 5 girls playing well. You know, we count on Taylor every tournament. She produces every tournament for us, but the other girls, you know, they have to produce as well. And Shannon, she's starting to round into form a little bit as the weather gets warmer. She tends to start playing a little better. And Karina and Bailey, both my 3 and 4 girls, they're playing a lot better. As like I said, as we get going, we keep practicing and getting better. But yeah, it's real important that those 3 girls, you know, produce like Taylor's producing, so that as a team we can reach our goal of state championship.
Coach, we'll get you out of here on this. This season, have you seen anything from your team? Have you seen either in a situation where you guys have gone head-on with Union in a tournament play, have you seen something that gives you the thought that, all right, look, we have a serious shot this, coming up in the playoffs and coming up in the state tournament in May, we have a serious shot to win, a state championship?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because, we've played really well in our last 3 tournaments, which is where I want to be peaking is at the end of the year, obviously, since that's when our state title is. And going head-to-head with the other teams on this side of the state, we've been able to produce pretty well. So hopefully my girls understand that, we haven't won anything yet. Nobody's going to give us anything. We have to go out and earn it and take it. So hopefully they'll keep working hard, and I'll keep pushing them so we can reach that goal.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking some time this morning and talking about your program. Good luck as you move throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you, Michael and Ben. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
It's Broken Arrow girls golf coach Charlie Brown joining the OK Preps Roundup here. We'll take our last time out when we come back. It's the Your Take poll question. Who has had the best season so far in high school baseball in Oklahoma? And 2 guys are running away with the vote. It's been ridiculous. Over 1,000 votes logged already. We'll talk about it in our next segment to wrap up this edition of the OK Preps Roundup. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. We wrap things up on the other side of this timeout on your home for sports, the Sports Animal, as well as on the OK Preps Network.
Some people like listening to sports on the radio. Some people like listening to music on the radio. But what if we did both? Like having Charles Barkley sing.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop Double G, but I somehow, some way.
Ugh, bad idea. Sports talk only it is then. On your home for sports.
How good was that? Now that is as good as it gets.
The Sports Animal.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
It's a great day at Kevin Grover GMC here in Wagner. I'm Kevin Grover. I want to personally thank you for your business. Without you, we would not be here. Our dealership was established over 28 years ago, and GMC was established in 1902, 113 years ago. The GMC brand is professional grade, and Kevin Grover GMC is built on integrity and excellence. Right now, through the end of this month, we have the Tulsa Auto Show specials. Get an extra $1,000 bonus cash on Sierra trucks and $500 on Terrains. Here's a showstopper special, number 13037, a 2015 double cab, 18% off MSRP, just $28,124 after rebates. Make your best deal on a new GMC today at Kevin Grover GMC in Wagner, located on Highway 69, or visit us online at grovergm.com, where customers send their friends.
Head on over to Kevin Grover GMC.
Kevin Ward here up on another roof with Roofscapes Exteriors owner Clint Vaughn. Whose roof are we on this time? Man, this thing is worn out.
We're actually on a roof of a fellow Tulsa resident who's been nominated for our No Roof Left Behind program.
No Roof Left Behind?
That's right. Every year, we give away and install a free roof to a Tulsa County resident who has fallen on some hard times and simply can't get it done otherwise. We encourage people to go now to our website, roofscapesexteriors.com, to vote for the person they think is the most deserving.
Wow, that's awesome, Clint. Good for you.
Actually, good for a deserving person in Tulsa. We've selected the 4 finalists, and the community can now vote on a winner through May 23rd. The winner will be revealed on June 1st, and it all ends with an installation celebration party June 13th. But people have to go to our website, roofscapesexteriors.com, to vote.
That is good for someone. Hey, I wasn't involved in some calamity this commercial.
Oh, there's still time. We need to go down the ladder.
Welcome back. OK Preps Roundup here on your home for sports, the sports animal, as well as streaming all over the world on the OK Preps network, including in Westville, Oklahoma.
Nice.
What's up?
That's over in your neck of the woods, kind of, sort of.
A little bit.
Western Arkansas.
Yeah.
You can pretty much reach across the state line from Westville, I think.
Especially in Watts. That's
Oh,
another
I
one
love
that I've been
Watts.
saving. That's another one I've been saving. Watts,
Well,
right
you know-
across the border.
Watts' mascot is, don't you?
Aren't they the? Oh man, Watts.
Engineers.
That's
my
right.
favorite one.
I thought
brilliant.
I kept thinking Boilermaker. I knew it had something to do. Engineers. That's your favorite?
Well, it's just clever. Watts Engineers.
More so than the Elk City Elks or the Fox Foxes. Come on, man.
I mean, if we're talking favorites, I can go Wampus Cats and Atoka. That'd be
Paoli Pugs.
all right.
Don't mess with me when it comes to Oklahoma mascots,
I won't.
man.
I
I'll
won't.
throw them out. I'll throw them out and throw them down.
All right.
Paoli Pugs. That's an ugly dog. How is that how that's your mascot? Yee. All right. We wrap up each OK Preps Roundup every single Saturday with the OK Preps Your Take poll. We release it earlier in the week. You have all week to vote, and then we talk about it to wrap up the show. This week, the baseball regular season is coming to a close. Got, I think, 1 week left in the regular season before all classes are in playoff mode. Teams all across the state are gearing up for that state championship push. And for this week's Your Take poll question, we shine a spotlight on the individuals. Which player has had the most dominant season so far? The choices were Denver Coffee of Vian, Kyle Tyler of Westmore, Roman Fansalker of Heritage Hall, Spencer Ard of Weatherford, and then, of course, the favorite, other. Comment below. You can take the field. Just whoever it is, other, and go ahead and take them. They lost, by the way. In a landslide, this has been the biggest Your Take vote so far this season. Very happy with the people who logged on and voted. And I'll tell you what, Westmore Nation, Heritage Hall Nation is strong on the Your Take poll. Over 1,200 votes, and Kyle Tyler and Roman Fansalker got the majority of them, a combined 94% between the two. And like at 10 o'clock last night, they were tied. And that Westmore push.
Stayed up late to vote.
That's right, man. You can vote once a day. So once midnight hit, they all voted again.
Then they went to bed.
Extra Jaguar push, Kyle Tyler. And look, I think that's a legitimate spot for him as the best player in the state. Committed to OU, signed with OU, has been just deadly on the mound. We talked with his coach in the first hour about what kind of pitcher he is. He had a game where he struck out 15 earlier this year, had a no-hitter. I mean, the kid is filthy. And, I have no problem with him winning this week's Your Take poll. Although Roman, he's got a no-hitter as well. He's helped lead Heritage Hall. He's had one heck of a season so far. I think he had a game just a couple weeks ago where he had 7 RBI. And Heritage Hall is a team I really like in Class 3A. They've won a lot of good games, and he's a big reason for that. So it's kind of fitting that these two took the majority of the votes because they are really, really good at baseball.
Well, the way you were talking up Kyle Tyler, I'm sure Union wasn't too fired up to hear that today.
I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if he's on the mound,
right?
But definitely have to see him in the other dugout,
right?
And look, if you're an OU fan in Tulsa, go out and check out your future boy.
It's a great day for it.
It is. It's not raining.
I know.
It's a good day.
Got some yard work coming up.
Yeah, I'm not. Beauty of living in an apartment complex, man. Got no yard work. No yard work. I got baseball. I got my brother's birthday party today, so I got a pretty good day.
A lot of Jimi Hendrix going on.
A lot of Jimi Hendrix. Maybe not. Maybe a little Purple Haze. A little more Purple Haze. We might play the Knight Rider theme.
All right.
Once for him. He loved Knight Rider. I don't care. It was before my time. Because, again, he's old and I am not.
So you haven't seen the original A-Team either?
No. Again, before my time. Just a big sigh. Just a huge letdown. I'm sorry I'm young. Jeez. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. This has been another edition of the OK Preps Roundup. Congratulations to Kyle Tyler. Congratulations, Westmore Nation, coming out strong.
Tip of the cap, baseball style.
Over 1,200 votes on the Your Take. Be sure and check out the OK Preps Your Take poll each and every single week. Coming up next week, we got a pretty special show as we're taking the Roundup on the road. Ben's not. Ben's going to be right here. Ben's going to stay in studio. He's going to hold down the fort here in Tulsa. The Roundup is going to be on the road in Dallas, Texas for an AAU tournament. We'll be there live next Saturday morning. Looking forward to talking to you from Dallas.
All right.
He'll
well,
be here, though.
I'll hang out with Spencer. And
you guys will have a good time.
Yeah.
Hold down the fort.
Yeah.
Hold down the fort. Make sure the studio doesn't burn down.
Yeah.
So we have a studio to come back
I might
to.
even sit in that seat over there.
You might. Hey, it'll be open. I won't be here.
Who knows? I could switch things up. Come back and you're sitting over here from now on.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, probably not.
We'll see about that. Our thanks goes out to everybody who joined us. Congratulations to James Singleton on the new gig. Our thanks to Curran Scott, Jimmy McKinney, as well as Westmore baseball coach Jared Freeman, Owasso, Sam Bowers, Broken Arrows, Charlie Brown, Tulsa World's John Hoover, as well as Sean Garner joining us each and every single week. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. Be sure and tune in next Saturday morning from 9 to 11. We do it every single Saturday morning on your home for sports, the Sports Animal. Also, check out the Roundup replays, our Roundup Rewind on okpreps.tv. Check out your favorite interviews from the week that was. We put them on the website each and every single week, so be sure and do that. If you missed an interview today, have no fear. We'll have it up on the site later on this weekend. For Ben Johnson, I'm Michael Knight. For our producers on both sides, Spencer Mayberry as well as Joshua Stokes, have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll talk to you from Dallas, Texas, next Saturday on the OK Preps Roundup.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.